So I love opportunity zones. I've been kind of obsessed with this plan since it came out in 2017, and I've kind of watched it grow over the last several years. And, the initial incentive of the opportunity zone is that you take capital gains, you invest it in an opportunity zone fund that invests in property or businesses located inside of these opportunity zones. It would defer that capital gain taxes until 2027, and then it would eliminate all of your capital gain taxes on your future appreciation of whatever your new asset was. You have to kind of think of it as like a blend of a 1031 plus a Roth IRA sort of thing. So I call it like the super Roth because you do pay your taxes, but you're paying it on the original gain. And it's deferred, so you'll be able to find and leverage some tax incentives that might reduce that burden by the time that you pay it. And then you get to invest heavily for, it's real estate. So you should be expecting to be invested in these things for 5 to 10 years anyways. You have a 10-year hold. But then you have the freedom with that cash after that. When you sell the property, all of that appreciation is tax-free. You don't have to continue to find property after property after property to 1031 into oblivion. You get to take your winnings off the table and start investing in something else. You can get really creative on the tax planning side, and the opportunity zone with the big beautiful bill, they made it permanent. So now it's just the locations are changing every 10 years. But that means that you have this vehicle that you could essentially just invest inside of forever. And it removes the capital gain from all of those things that you're investing in. It's crazy.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Real Estate Pro Show. I'm your host, Erika, and today I'm thrilled to be joined by Kelly Winget. She's shaking things up in the private equity and real estate space. Kelly, it's awesome to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
So let's dive on in. Kelly, for those who don't know your world yet, give us the rundown. How did you get started in the real estate game with private equity?
Sure. So I am the founder of a company called Alternative Wealth Partners. It's a private equity company out of Dallas. And I've been in the alternative investment space for going on 15 years, but I was raised by entrepreneurs and, both my parents were in financial services. They were, way ahead of their time flipping apartment complexes and houses in the 70s and 80s. And, that energy kind of carried through my upbringing. So when I eventually found my way into, private equity, I took a non-conventional route. I've worked in everything from healthcare to construction and demolition to, oil and gas. I'm 5 generations in oil and gas. So that was kind of my first foray into what I do now, which is manage diversified private equity funds that invest in everything from real estate, oil and gas, tech startups. I've seen it all. I've raised almost $1 billion over my career into the private equity space. And so real estate's one of those assets that falls into alternatives. Most people think alternatives are something crazy like cryptocurrency, but it actually just includes everything that isn't a stock, bond, or cash.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Yeah, so when it comes to that, are there specific markets or regions or, type of investments that you're looking at? What is that? Give us the rundown for those who are new to this.
Sure. So private equity is exactly what it is. It's not trying to hide anything. It's literally just privately held things. And so when we look at real estate, it's usually as an afterthought to the businesses that we're looking to acquire or build. And so the way that we approach real estate is this a piece of property that can house a business, or does it house a business currently? And how can we bring more value to that real estate? We're heavily involved in like the industrial and commercial space. Anything in residential right now, I feel like it's super saturated. It provides a lot of financial freedom for people because it's the easiest way to get into an alternative asset that has a lot of wealth creation uh, around it. There's no barrier of entry. You can use your money, someone else's money, little money. You can leverage debt. Like it's very easy. It's a very easy asset to go and acquire, where private equity is a more sophisticated investment strategy that requires a little bit more hands-on experience, capital. And so kind of like the graduation process is like you have your stocks and bonds portfolio, then you buy some real estate. That real estate provides extra capital, maybe some tax incentives that frees up more capital. And then you start getting into like venture, private equity, and some other kind of more sophisticated investment strategies.
When it comes to those private equity strategies, how does that tie into real estate opportunities like opportunity zones?
So I love opportunity zones. I've been kind of obsessed with this plan since it came out in 2017, and I've kind of watched it grow over the last several years. And, the initial incentive of the opportunity zone is that you take capital gains, you invest it in an opportunity zone fund that invests in property or businesses located inside of these opportunity zones. It would defer that capital gain taxes until 2027, and then it would eliminate all of your capital gains taxes on your future appreciation of whatever your new asset was. You have to kind of think of it as like a blend of a 1031 plus a Roth IRA sort of thing. So I call it like the super Roth because you do pay your taxes, but you're paying it on the original gain. And it's deferred, so you'll be able to find and leverage some tax incentives that might reduce that burden by the time that you pay it. And then you get to invest heavily it's real estate. So you should be expecting to be invested in these things for 5 to 10 years anyways. You have a 10-year hold. But then you have the freedom with that cash after that. When you sell the property, all of that appreciation is tax-free. You don't have to continue to find property after property after property to 1031 into oblivion. You get to like take your winnings off the table and start investing in something else. You can get really creative on the tax planning side, and the opportunity zone with the big beautiful bill, they made it permanent. So now it's just the locations are changing every 10 years. But that means that you have this vehicle that you could essentially just invest inside of forever, and it removes the capital gain from all of those things that you're investing in. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's really exciting. Would you say for you, is it more about the opportunity itself within that, or are you targeting specific markets or regions for that?
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
So there's specific areas in the country that are designated as opportunity zones. And for the most part, they're just kind of like right outside of metropolitan areas, or they can be in super rural areas. If you're interested in like more of like the farm or like raw land development, you might want to go further out and look for opportunity zones that fit there. But for us, like we're looking at operating businesses. So they're going to be inside of metropolitan areas or right outside the city, places where they're kind of on the way up to like gentrification or like, there's some interest in that area being developed because the whole point is that you want the asset to grow in value, but there's all these different kind of nuances to the project that you're required to do. If you buy a property for $1 million, you have to put $1 million worth of improvements into that property in order for it to qualify. You do that over 10 years. And so you want that property to ultimately double and triple and quadruple in value. And you have that opportunity when you're just outside of the growth because eventually it gets there. And you have to hold the asset for 10 years anyways. We're looking for those things that are just outside of big growth areas. We have an opportunity zone project right now. It's about 2.5 hours outside of Dallas, but it's in between two very large towns. And so we have the ability to, if we create industry there, the employment will come and the growth of the city will come. And then there will want to be housing development. There will want to be restaurants there. But we're bringing highly technical skill sets there. So those people, want to have nice restaurants and stores and things to do that don't currently exist. And so we want to be where the development is going.
Absolutely. And those private equity opportunity zones, they can be complex. So what kind of advice would you give for someone navigating that?
So I guess there's two ways that like an investor could think about an opportunity zone. It's, do I want to passively invest in something that somebody's actively managing on my behalf and benefiting from that? This is going to be for investors that are, used to investing in like multifamily syndicates where they're a limited partner or, just kind of a passive investor. If you have significant amount of capital gain, like let's say you had a ranch property or you owned a large something, sold your business, and you're looking at a 5, 10 or higher $1 million capital gain event, then you could consider building your own qualified opportunity zone fund. It has to be structured that way, but you can do it yourself. Family offices do this for themselves when they have a particular type of interest. Sometimes, like, let's say I'm in Omaha and I have, I sold my business for $50 million and I might really care about, the growth of South Omaha. So I might set up a qualified opportunity zone for my family and invest in South Omaha with my capital gains, build buildings, put an office space in, whatever. You can do that yourself if you have a large enough. You have to make sense with the cost of running something like that, which is going to be about, if you're focusing on one area or one property, it could be $200,000-$300,000 a year. You could change that, but it's typically, if you're going to do it for yourself, you should be looking at a $10 to $20 million capital gain event.
And for that, are there specific types of operating businesses or real estate projects that you're seeing the most potential within the qualified opportunity zones?
Sure. So the projects have typically been, which is kind of a disappointing thing about the incentive that was created. It was created under Trump's first term, and he's a real estate guy. So, it was really like build a hotel in the middle of nowhere and hopefully somebody will come, or build a multifamily like right outside of town and, whatever. But you have a tax-free growth.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
So you want to be aggressive in what you're investing in because you're taking whatever the appreciation is tax-free afterwards. And so the program has only been used to invest in real estate that, typically 1.5 or 2x's over time. Whereas the operating businesses, I buy a metal forging company doing $2 million a year. I could put that on an opportunity zone property and scale it to $4 or $5 million a year. I can sell that $40 million in 10 years tax-free. That's very different than me investing $1 million into a property and it going $2 million. Like, I might as well pay the taxes on that than hold it for 10 years. So that's our perspective about it. And so there's not a lot of opportunity zones out there that are focusing on the operating business. We're really involved with like infrastructure, energy, national security. Our qualified opportunity zone fund is focused on defense. So we're looking at defense related, government related companies. This could be metal forging, textiles, parts, technology, anything that's going to be government affiliated, because we're trying to onshore everything, right? When it comes to how the military spends their money and the government, it has to be made in America, or at least try to be made in America first. This includes all the foreign aid that goes overseas. So, any type of conflict we're supporting with money, that money comes back into the United States because even our ally countries have to purchase US first. So we're trying to expand that capacity so that everything that's already being made here, because they have been since World War II, just expanding that capacity. Those families that own those businesses haven't done anything to scale their business, because why would they? They have a very nice government contract. They make a couple $1 million a year doing the bare minimum. And so there's no energy or effort to grow their business. The third generation is uninterested in running a manufacturing business. They want to be YouTube or TikTok stars. And so, we get to go into those businesses and say, hey, we want to continue your legacy. We're going to buy your company. We're going to preserve what you've built, but we're going to take it to the next level. We put next generation leadership in, and we scale it to sell it, in 7 to 10 years.
Yeah, wow, that's so fascinating. And what is that process like for finding those businesses? Because I mean, I'm sure they're out there, but is there a database, or is it about making connections? What is that like?
It's kind of a little bit of both. So there are like business brokers out there. I'm sure investors get approached all the time with, hey, buy this business. They're doing $500,000 a year and they're going to sell for $2 million. I try not to do work with brokers just because they take such a large percentage of the deal. I do a lot of work within my network to like go and find these opportunities, because most of the time when we approach these, they're not looking to sell. They're kind of just settling, and we get into a conversation of like what that looks like to actually move on from the business. So a lot of the effort that we're doing is actually going in and convincing these people to sell us their business, instead of finding somebody that's already in a position to sell. Just because we can get a better price, we can be a little bit more aggressive on what we offer. And we can also keep the family intact if they still want to operate a part of their business or have somebody involved in the daily operation of the business. That's kind of the biggest difference between like a large private equity firm and like what we do. Because a large private equity firm is going to be like, here's your check, go away. And then they come in and like obliterate the business and then turn it into a robot. So we we approach it a little bit differently, and that only works when we're able to like have control of that relationship.
Absolutely. And for you, when it comes to building those relationships, have there been specific networking groups that have been helpful, or how have you been able to scale that?
The family office space is like a really interesting one to be in, because everybody's just like an eccentric billionaire. And so, you're dealing with a lot of different personality types. And I think like, fortunately for me, like I went into sales at 15. So I dealt with every type of personality. And then I was working with 60 doctors. Then I was working in demolition. So like I've seen it all. And so for me, it's very easy to walk in. Like I could decide tomorrow to go into like a roofing conference because I want to buy a roofing company, and like talk to everybody in the room and figure out who's got kind of the best situation going on. And then working out a deal. You really just want to be in the industry space. So if you're interested in getting into like a manufacturing company, then you've got to find, where are the manufacturing companies going? Is there a parts conference, a machines, conference, something where they are going, where you can kind of like in an informal way and start to engage with that community. They're not going to be in investor conferences really unless they're
Yeah,
presenting or something. The investment conferences are really great to find other investors or to find, on market deals. But if you're looking to really get creative and find off market opportunities, you have to go where those people are.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes so much sense. Have you noticed any unique challenges with, buying these businesses in the qualified opportunity zones? Because every business owner has a moment where things go sideways and they have to pivot. Do you have a moment like that in your journey?
Yeah, I mean, one of my largest portfolio companies, right? It's both the bane of my existence and my favorite deal. And it's changed 100 times over the last like 7 years that I've been involved, in good ways and bad ways. But, going back to feeling creative about being able to do these kinds of opportunities, you just have to kind of roll with the punches. And if you at your core believe in what this asset can turn into, then it doesn't matter what the hurdles are because at the end of the day, like you see where it's going and the path is rough, but it's still going forward. So I hit those things all the time. It can be difficult when you're not fully engaged. I think that's one thing that, maybe your listeners need to understand is you can't be 1 foot in and 1 foot out in this kind of investing. With real estate, you can be pretty passive, but like if you really want to start to like generate generational wealth with stuff, you've got to commit full time.
Absolutely. And for the newcomers, do you see any common mistakes that, you can share so that they don't make the same mistake?
The best salespeople have a lot of really good marketing. And so just because the deal looks really pretty and you saw it on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, you really like have to take the time and do due diligence. And even if your due diligence is simple Google searches, like you need to find out if the people have been sued before. You need to find out what their actual track record is. And there's ways to verify the information that they're selling you on whatever pitch deck they're sending you or webinar presentation or hoorah stage performance they're doing. Like there's really you've got to do some third party validation of the things that they're talking about. It can be exciting and new, and I just think that people just need to have a little bit more ownership of that decision and letting somebody just convince them to do something because everybody else is.
That makes a lot of sense. We hear a lot about due diligence on the podcast. Kelly, what's on the horizon for you? What are you exploring? What kind of impact are you looking to make?
We're looking at some really exciting deals. I think that there's a lot of focus on AI. And for us, we're not, and I felt this, I've been in crypto for a very long time too, but it's, it's looking at something in a different way. Everyone is chasing the AI companies, which is very exciting. But the reality is that AI is here. It's not going anywhere. And you need to be looking at how is the application used across every industry. So when we're evaluating a deal, we're looking at not just, okay, it's an AI technology, but is the business or is the opportunity at its core functional, and is AI improving that? Or are the companies that we're invested in using AI to scale? It's not about like just the AI technology itself. Same with crypto. Like, yes, there's a cryptocurrency, but it's built on a technology. How are the companies using the blockchain technology to make their business better? And so that's what we're looking at when we're evaluating deals.
Yeah, yeah, that's exciting with the AI or not the AI. Are there any tools or systems or mindsets that you're leaning into to stay ahead?
I mean, I have a very great relationship with my chat GBT, but for the most part, we're looking at the companies we've invested in that use AI are trying to address, systematic issues in different industries, whether it be the financial services space, business entrepreneurship space. Like we're leveraging the tools that we've invested in across our entire portfolio.
Yeah, that's exciting. Well, Kelly, before we let you go, if someone wants to reach out, learn more about what you're doing at Alternative Wealth Partners, or maybe they need to explore some qualified opportunity zones with you, what's the best way for them to connect?
So I'm pretty active on LinkedIn. You can find me on LinkedIn. It's Kellyanne Winget. I think I'm the only one. And then, of course, you can always reach out to us on our website, which is Alternative Wealth Partners.
Awesome. Kelly, I love how you're blending private equity with real estate to create real impact. It's inspiring stuff.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was a joy. And for everyone tuning in, if you got value from this episode, Make sure that you're subscribed to the Real Estate Pro Show. We've got more conversations coming your way with operators like Kelly who are building incredible businesses. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.